Hey guys, I'm here once again, although this time it is personal. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Ctrl-Alt-Reset. I am talking this time about some just difficulties that I'm having in my life, just evidence that in order to live a full life, it's got to encompass pain and suffering and depression and sadness, along with happiness, joy, community, love. I think I have been focusing so much on if I think positive thoughts, if I meditate on what it is that I want in my life, I'm going to meditate abundance, that I'm going to get that, every YouTube, every, podcast, Instagram, quick 5-second clip is like, yeah, just think those positive thoughts and you'll be able to manifest. Well, that's bullshit. I'm here to tell you, if you've been watching some of my earlier videos from last year, I was trying to manifest out of greed. I wanted a lot of money. I wanted health. I wanted love in the world. And within like the next month after I was doing that, I experienced the complete 180 of all of those things that I was trying to manifest. And I know I just had an awesome energy work session with Beth, who I had on my last podcast. And she helped my brain kind of talk energy-wise with my heart and my gut, like the different chakras. And she was like, they were not talking to each other. But I felt it. And she said that my brain, my I don't know if it's the crown chakra or whatever, like the energy in my head just shed its skin like a snake. And she's like, I'm excited to hear, what your experience is like in the next couple of days, because things changed in you. And I feel it, man. It is crazy. Like, that's the first time that I've ever had energy work done or even knew what energy work was. Get some if you if you're having difficult times. So anyway, like last week, I had a really hard work week. I was really challenged with being lost, depressed. This is the hardest job that I've ever had in my entire life. I had no idea that it was going to be this challenging. And it's very confronting. I had challenges when I worked at Dell, but I kind of jumped ship. I'm like, this is getting tough. I'm working 50, 60 hours a week. It's tough. And luckily, kind of things worked out for me. I got tapped on the shoulder by someone who, I've worked with in the past. And they're like, hey, do you want to come work at this company? And for the next 2.5 years, it was awesome. Work-life balance was so good. I was able to be part of my kids' lives and pick them up from school and drop them off. And, it was awesome. I have none of that right now. But at least in the other job, I felt fulfilled because I knew what I was doing. In this role, I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah. So I was wrestling with it last week, and I had a breakthrough with Kimmy also, where in the crux of just me having this trouble and challenge in work, I was more in tune with how I felt. And Friday comes along, that's the day that me and Kimmy are supposed to make love. Kind of silly, but she just had surgery on her ear. I don't know if you knew this, but she got some skin cancer on her ear. So it's like, it's serious shit. And all I could think of was me getting laid. And I knew, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, I shouldn't think like this. I shouldn't feel like this. But I couldn't get rid of that negative energy of pouting, of acting like a little baby, like, I'm not getting any. I'm going to make Kimmy feel my anger. And I welled up in anger inside, and I was just transmitting that negative energy towards Kimmy passive aggressively. And it struck me. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And I told Kimmy, I'm like, Kimmy, do you feel this negative energy that I'm like sending your way? And she's like, hell yeah. She's like, I fucking hate it. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I apologized. And she let me have it. She's like, you better fucking apologize. You've been a fucking asshole. Every single time that you don't get laid, you fucking pout and, stomp around like it's my duty to give you sex. And I didn't make any excuses. I didn't rationalize. I didn't try to explain it away. I was there for it. And I fucking understood how you feel, Kimmy. And I just want to say I love you. And I won't be like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore, because that hurts you. It hurts me. All for shit that I know you love me. I don't need sex to... We can do it next week. We can do it the week after. You've got to heal from your ear surgery. And I know how petty I've been. I don't want to make this an apology video completely to Kimmy, but, I hope the rest of you guys can just understand that life is real, and you have to be conscious. I have to be conscious of the energy that I'm putting out into the universe, especially when it affects the people I love. And so I just made a commitment right then and there. I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. If you don't make love with me, I'm going to be like, okay, can we make love? And if you say no, I'm going to be like, okay, let's wait, when, so that I don't pester her. Because that negative energy was affecting me too. Anyway, it's really awesome going through this, but it's also really painful. It's really honest, being honest with myself. And life is hard. It's not always, rainbows and sunshine. And what I'm finding is that the biggest growth that I experience is right there in the face of pain and suffering and depression, but the willingness to move through that, to be confronted by it and move through it. And I'm working through my shit. I'm seeing a counselor. I saw a counselor on Monday for the first time. And it was crazy. It was like, she was like, how did you find me? Because we were talking, and I was telling her about my history and like the things that I'm going through, like searching through consciousness, like what is the meaning of life? And, these big questions that everybody in the world throughout time has been searching for. And she's like, how did you find me? Like, I have no availability, but just at the second that I had something clear up, I posted it, you responded. Her mother is a light worker, doing energy, just like, Beth. her dad is a aerospace engineer. So the two of them, you know, coming together like with different views of the world. She was like, this is like where you're at right now. And she's like, I feel that I have been brought together with you to help you through this and let you release the blockages of, you know, my thoughts of like why I don't think that I'm good enough so that I can start a foundation. You know, Beth had done a recent reading for me, and like her guides had said, you know, I've got to stop because my monkey mind is so caught up with all of this stress that it's not able to let me be in the flow. And I've got to surrender. And so I'm really excited that, you know, I'm putting in the work. I'm confronting some very just hard things to confront. But I know on the other side is the light. And Beth, in her reading, it said, you know, you can't build an empire on sinking sand. And I'm like, that I was kind of offended at that moment, but then I'm like, fuck you, ego, you know, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I am sinking sand, you know, all of the subconscious beliefs that I have, limiting beliefs, are totally sabotaging any progress that I'm trying to make these days. And I don't know if you guys are experiencing that within, you know, your own person, but I am. And so for those who are, hey, I'm here to tell you it is tough. I've been crying. I've been laughing hysterically in my car after the counseling session. I was literally screaming, "Let's fucking go!" because I was like, bring it on. This is painful. This is hilarious. And this is fucking life. Bring it on. And yeah, just my one takeaway from this is just be real with yourself. You know, the ego likes to identify with a person who it says you should be. And I, for a long time, have been so making an enemy of what is, of who I am. I wanted to always be the cool guy. And I always would think, like, what does a cool guy do in this situation? And sometimes it was conflicting. So I was like, I don't, you know, I would get into these like weird, awkward cycles. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm awkward. You know, sometimes I don't know what to say. I'm getting better, but it's like, that's who I really am. And I'm getting better at not, you know, trying to be somebody I'm not. And it's really liberating. So, you know, one piece of advice is just really be real with yourself. Like, who are you? What do you have to offer this world? What do you want to offer this world? Because it's not just the universe telling you, you are a co-creator with God. He can give you some guidance, but you have free will in this life. So make the best of it, you know, do what you want to do. Don't listen to other people as like how you should live your life. Live the life that you want to live. And I know that that's kind of the key, you know, surrender to the flow, but take action. You got to do both. So I'll leave you with that. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day. But even if you're not, just know that tomorrow can be better. I wrote in my journal every day, you know, thank you. I actually say, I'm grateful for today so I can be better than I was yesterday. Yeah. Be better. We need a lot of better in this world. All right. Love you guys. See you next time.